Hello everyone, this is Aparna Shetty, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, AG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So let us continue with Module 4. Okay, in this video lecture, I would like to discuss about a rule-based classifier. Okay, so Module 4, Classification, there are two chapters, Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. From Chapter 5, okay, we have three topics. One is rule-based classifier, nearest neighbor classifier, and Bayesian belief classifier. In this video lecture, I would like to discuss about rule-based classifier. Okay, so let us begin. So I will be discussing about a rule-based classification over here. First of all, let us understand what is the rule-based classifier. A rule-based classifier is a technique for classifying record using a collection of if-then rules. Okay, so it is used for classifying records by a collection of if-then rules. Okay, examples of such rule-based classifier are, if you see here, we have 5 rules, correct? We have 5 rules. So which are the 5 rules here? Gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to yes, then it implies births. Okay, that is a rule R1. Okay. So rule R1. Next rule R2 is gives birth is equal to no and aquatic creature is equal to yes, then it implies fishes. Okay. R3 gives birth is equal to yes and body temperature is equal to warm blooded, then it implies mammals. Okay. R4 gives birth is equal to no and aerial creature is equal to no, then it implies reptiles. Okay. R5 aquatic creature is equal to semi, then it implies amphibians. So this is an example of a rule-based classifier, which is nothing but a collection of if-then rules. Okay. So the rules for the model are represented in a disjunctive normal form. Okay, that is R is equal to R1, okay, or R2 or etc. up to Rk. Okay, where R is nothing but a rule set. Okay, and Ri are the classification rule or disjuncts. So here they are telling that a rule set. Okay, a rule set, that is R. Capital R is the rule set. Okay, a rule set is nothing but a disjunction of classification rule or a disjunction of Ri's. Okay, so the rule set R is nothing but a disjunction of Ri's. Okay, that is, it is a disjunction of R1, R2 up to Rk. Okay, here these are the each rules. R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. So here I can consider the rule set R is equal to, okay, R1 or R2 or R3 or R4 or R5. Okay. So the rule set R is nothing but it is a disjunction of each of the rules. Each classification rule can be expressed in the following way. So each classification rule, each rule you can express it like this, that is condition I implies yi. So if the condition I is satisfied, then it implies the class yi. Okay, so a rule Ri is denoted as condition I implies Ri. That is, if the condition I is satisfied, then it implies that the record belongs to class yi. Okay. The left hand side of the rule is called as the rule antecedent or precondition. So here in this rule, the left hand side, correct? This is the condition I. Left hand side is condition I. It is called as rule antecedent or precondition. Okay, and this is the right hand side of the rule. Okay, yi is the right hand side of the rule. So the left hand side of the rule is called the rule antecedent or precondition. It contains a conjunction of attribute test. Okay, so the left hand side contains a conjunction, okay, of attribute sets, that is condition I is equal to A1 operator V1 and A2 operator V2 and up to finally AK operator VK, where AJ, VJ is an attribute value pair. Okay, AJ and VJ is nothing but it is the attribute value pair. This is the attribute value pair, and operator over here is a logical operator chosen from the set equal to, okay, this is not equal to, okay, equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, so the operator is one of the logical operator chosen from this set. Each attribute test, that is AJ operator VJ, is known as a conjunct. So each of these tests is known as a conjunct. The right hand side of the rule is called the consequent. Okay, so in that implication rule, the right hand side is called as the consequent, which contains the predicted class yi. A rule R covers a record X if the precondition of R matches the attributes of X. R is also said to be fired or triggered whenever it covers a given record. Okay, so a rule R covers a record X if the precondition of R matches the attributes of X. R is also said to be fired or triggered whenever it covers a given record. Let us see the example of rule-based classifier. So let us consider this data set, correct? We have already seen this vertebrate example, correct? When you are discussing about decision trees. Now in this vertebrate example, we have the different classification for vertebrates, right? So suppose if the vertebrate is human, okay, blood type is warm blooded, okay, gives birth, yes, human gives birth, can fly, no, okay, lives in water, no, human does not live in water. Okay, then we can classify them as mammals. Okay, same way, next vertebrate, python, okay, blood type it is cold blooded, correct? Python is cold blooded, so blood type is cold blooded, gives birth, no, can fly, no, lives in water, no, then we can classify them as reptiles. Okay, next salmon, okay, blood type cold, gives birth, no, can fly, no, lives in water, yes, we can classify it as a fish. Okay, similarly we can classify all the vertebrates in the data set to a given class, correct? The last column over here indicates to which class the vertebrates belong. So these are the attributes, okay, blood type, gives birth, can fly, lives in water. These are the attributes, and the last column is a class. Now based on the values of the attribute, okay, for a given record we can classify it to a class. Okay, so based on the values of the attribute we can assign a class to each record. So human, based on the attributes of human, okay, based on the values of the attributes for human, we can classify the human to class mammals. Okay. So for this data set, we have 4 rules. Okay, we have 4 rules. Rule R1 is equal to gives birth is equal to no and can fly is equal to yes, then it implies birds. Okay, so if these two conditions are satisfied, gives birth is equal to no, okay, can fly is equal to yes. So where you can see gives birth is equal to no and can fly is equal to yes, here you can see, correct? Gives birth is equal to no, can fly is equal to yes. Here also you can see gives birth, where else can you see gives birth no, can fly yes, here you can see. Alright, gives birth no, can fly yes. Okay, so if these two conditions are satisfied, then you can classify them as birds. Similarly, the rule R2 suggests that if give birth is equal to no and lives in water is equal to yes, then it belongs to class fish. Okay. Similarly, we have rule R3 which tells us that if gives birth is equal to yes and blood type is equal to warm, then it implies mammals. Okay. The last rule R4 tells that gives birth is equal to no and can fly is equal to no implies reptiles. So these are the rules, okay, that are generated for this data set. Okay, these are the examples of classification rule, correct? It is a condition implies class. Okay, so here each condition is nothing, each conjunct is a condition. Okay, attribute value pair, you have a conjunct of attribute value pair, right? So condition implies class. So these are the rules that are generated for the above data set. Okay, here there is one more rule, R5, lives in water is equal to sometimes it is classified as amphibians. Okay, R5 rules suggest that lives in water sometimes, okay, lives in water sometimes it is classified as amphibians directly. Wherever there is lives in water sometimes, it will classify it as amphibians. So these are the 4 rules that are generated for the given data set. Now, how these rules, what is the validity of these rules, we will see later. Okay, so for now these are the 5 rules that are generated for the given data set. Application of rule based classifier. A rule R covers an instance X if the attribute of the instance satisfy the condition of the rule. Okay, now here the rule R covers an instance X. Okay, it covers an instance X if the attribute of the instance satisfies the condition. So if the attribute satisfies the condition here, for example, in rule R1, the attribute gives birth is equal to no. Okay, and the attribute can fly is equal to yes. So if the attribute satisfy this condition, these two conditions, that is gives birth is equal to no and can fly is equal to yes, then it covers the instance X. Okay, then it covers birds. Okay, now suppose they have given these two records and they have asked us to classify. Okay, now here if you see, first is a hawk. Okay, so here if you see hawk, blood type is equal to warm. So do you have blood type here attribute? Here you have, right? Blood type is equal to warm. Okay, gives birth is equal to no, but that rule does not satisfy gives birth is equal to no, correct? In that rule R3, gives birth is equal to yes. Can fly is equal to yes. So you have to see where you have gives birth is equal to no. So gives birth is equal to no here, correct? This is satisfying. Can fly is equal to yes. This satisfies. So can I classify this as bird? Yes. Okay. Because these two attribute conditions are satisfied. Gives birth is equal to no, can fly is equal to yes. Does any other rule satisfy? Here gives birth is equal to no, lives in water, yes. It does not satisfy because lives in water is no. Okay, rule R3 does not satisfy. Gives birth is equal to yes, sir. It does not satisfy. Okay. Rule R4 gives birth is equal to no, can fly is equal to no. It does not satisfy. And finally, rule R5 also will not satisfy. So, hawk covers only one rule, that is rule R1, and it is classified as bird. Okay, so hawk is classified as bird. We can assign the class bird here. Next, if you see, so the rule R1 covers a hawk and classifies it as bird. Okay, next if you see here, grizzly bear. Okay, if you see grizzly bear here, blood type is equal to warm. Gives birth is equal to yes. Okay, here rule R1 gives birth is equal to no, so it will not satisfy. R2 gives birth is equal to no, it will not satisfy. Okay, in R3 gives birth is equal to yes. Okay, so that it is satisfied. And blood type is equal to warm is also satisfied here. Correct? Blood type warm is also satisfied. Both the conditions are satisfied. So, I can say that rule R3 covers a grizzly bird. It will classify it as mammal. Okay? R3 covers grizzly bear as mammals. Okay? Next, if you see here, so these are the two records where hawk is classified as bird and grizzly bird is classified as mammals. Okay, this is the application of rule based classifier. They have given a set of rules. Okay, and next they have given the records which you have to classify. Okay, for these records given test data, you have to classify these records using the rule set. Okay. Next, rule coverage and accuracy. Okay, first metric. Now, to classify a rule, okay, the quality of a rule, whether a rule classifier is good or not. Okay, the quality of that rule set, in order to test that quality, we have two metrics. Okay, first one is rule coverage and the second one is accuracy. Okay, first one, coverage of a rule. Fraction of records that satisfy the antecedent of the rule is called as coverage of a rule. Okay, next, accuracy. Fraction of records that satisfy the antecedent that also satisfy the consequent of the rule. So, fraction of records that satisfy the antecedent and which also satisfies the consequent of the rule is called as accuracy of the rule. Okay, and coverage is given by mod A divided by D. Okay, that is, coverage is nothing but fraction of records that just satisfy the rule antecedent. Okay, accuracy is fraction of records that satisfy the antecedent and which also satisfies the consequent. Okay, so these are the two formulas for rule, coverage and accuracy. Okay, here mode A is the number of records that satisfy the rule antecedent. Okay, and mode A conjunction Y, okay, is the number of records that satisfy both the antecedent and consequent. And mode D is the total number of records. Now consider this data set they have given, and suppose we have this rule over here. Okay, that is status single. One operator is I'll just put this arrow here, implication. Okay, so status is equal to single implies no. Okay, they have given this rule that status is equal to single implies no. Okay, for this data set, they have given this rule. Now let us compute the coverage of this rule and the accuracy of the rule. First, let us compute the coverage of this rule. So coverage is given by the number of records that satisfy the rule antecedent divided by the total number of records. So rule antecedent is status is equal to single. So how many records satisfy status is equal to single? Just the rule antecedent. 1, 2, 3, 4. So mod A is 4. 4 records satisfy the rule antecedent. Next, what is mod D? Total number of records. Totally how many records are there over here? 10. So coverage is 40 divided by 10, which is equal to 0.4. Okay. So in terms of percentage is equal to 40%. Okay. Next, let us compute the accuracy of this rule. The accuracy of this rule is given by number of records that satisfy both the antecedent and consequent divided by the number of records that satisfy just the antecedent. Okay. Here, this is the antecedent, status is equal to single, and this is the consequent. Okay, that is class is equal to no. How many records satisfy both the antecedent and consequent here? Status is equal to single, class is equal to no. So this record satisfies, correct? Status is equal to single, class no. Status is equal to single, class no. Here again status is equal to single, but class is yes over here. So this does not satisfy. Similarly, this one also, status is single, but class is yes. So this rule also does not satisfy. So only 2 records satisfy both the antecedent and consequent. So here numerator is 2. Only 2 records satisfy both the antecedent and consequent. That is both A and Y. Next, total number of records that just satisfy the antecedent. Antecedent is status is equal to single. How many records satisfy? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 2 divided by 4. Okay. Right. So what is 2 divided by 4? It is, in terms of percentage, it is 60%. Right. So this is how we will calculate the coverage and the accuracy. Right. So this is about the 2 metrics here, the coverage and the accuracy. Next, how does a rule-based classifier work? So we'll see how does a rule-based classifier work. A rule-based classifier classifies a test record based on the rule triggered by that record. Now, given a set of 5 rules, okay, next they have given this data set. There are 3 vertebrates here: lemur, turtle, dogfish, shark. So here if you see, the lemur rule triggers rule R3, hence it is classified as mammal. Okay, so in lemur, body temperature warm. Body temperature is warm blooded. Okay. Skin cover is equal to, that is not there, that attribute is not there. Okay, so gives birth is yes. So gives birth is yes. Body blood type, okay, that is body temperature, or blood type is warm. Okay, actually here it has to be body temperature. Okay, it is not blood type, it has to be body temperature. Body temperature is equal to warm. Okay, so it satisfies both the conditions, so you can classify it as mammals. Does any other rule satisfy lemur? Here it does not satisfy. Gives birth is equal to no. Here also gives birth is equal to no. Here also gives birth is equal to no. So all the other rules does not satisfy. So Lemmo triggers rule R3. Hence it can be classified as a mammal. Next, turtle. Turtle, if you see, gives birth is equal to no. Okay, here there is gives birth is equal to no. And gives birth is equal to no. Can fly is also no, correct? Aerial creature, no. So gives birth is no and aerial creature is no. So both these conditions are satisfied. Gives birth is equal to no and can fly is equal to no. Hence you can classify it as a reptiles. If you see here, rule R5 is also triggered for turtle. Lives in water sometimes. So aquatic creature semi. It is semi-aquatic, that is it lives in water sometimes. This condition is also satisfied. Hence you can also classify it as amphibians. So turtle triggers both R4 and R5 here. Last one, dogfish, if you see, body temperature, cold-blooded, none of the rules have. Skin cover also they don't have. Gives birth is equal to yes, you have only one rule here. Aquatic creature, yes, no. Aerial creature, hands. So here if you see dogfish, it does not satisfy any of the rules. Okay, the attributes of dogfish does not satisfy any of the conditions. Hence you cannot classify dogfish. Okay, so there is some problem in this rule set because one record triggers more than a rule. Okay, here the recorded turtle is triggering two rules. Okay, which is not okay. Okay, a given record should not trigger two rules. It should only be able to trigger one rule. Okay, and next if you see that the dogfish shark, that record does not trigger any of the rules. So in the given rule set, there is no rules that is that can classify dogfish. Okay, so this rule set, it has some problems. We will see it later how we can solve it. Characteristics of rule sets. So first characteristics is mutually exclusive rules. Classifier contains mutually exclusive rules if the rules are independent of each other. That is, every record is covered by at most one rule. Okay, so the record should be covered by at most one rule only. Okay, so here in the previous slide if you see, here turtle triggers two rules. So this rule set does not satisfy mutually exclusive property because a given record is triggered by two rules. Next characteristics of rule set is exhaustive rules. A classifier has exhaustive coverage if there is a rule for every possible combination of attribute value. Okay, so each record is covered by at least one rule. So every record should be covered by at least one rule. Okay, that is exhaustive property. So in the previous example, if you see, your dogfish, that record is not covered by any of the rules. So it does not satisfy exhaustive property also. This rule set does not satisfy both the properties. It does not satisfy mutually exclusive property because one record triggers more than two rules. As well as it does not satisfy exhaustive property because a given record is not been triggered by any of the rules. For example, dogfish, shark is not been triggered by any of the rules in the rule set. So that was about the characteristics of rule sets. Examples. Now let us see the examples of mutually exclusive and exhaustive rules. Okay, suppose they have given these three rules, okay, to classify non-mammals and mammals. Together, these properties ensures that every record is covered by exactly one rule. Okay, so in this rule set ensures that every record is covered by exactly one rule. If the rule set is not exhaustive, then a default rule, okay, that is null implies YD, must be added to cover the remaining cases. So, if a given rule set is not exhaustive, then you should add a default rule, okay, that is null implies YD, to cover the remaining cases. A default rule has an empty antecedent, okay, so it has an empty antecedent here. It has an empty antecedent, okay, and is triggered when all other rules have failed. So the default rule should be triggered when all other rules fail. YD is known as the default class, okay, YD is known as the default class and is typically assigned to the majority class of training records not covered by the existing rules, okay. So, YD should refer to the majority of the classes that are not being covered by the existing rules, okay. If the rule set is not mutually exclusive, okay, so if the rule set is not exhaustive, okay, we have seen the solution, correct? We have to add a default rule such that null set implies YD, where YD is the majority of the class label that is not being covered in the rule set, okay. So among the class label, okay, which is the majority of the class label in the training records not covered by the existing rules. So this is how we overcome exhaustive property. Next, let us see how can we overcome mutually exclusive property. So if the rule set is not mutually exclusive, then a record can be covered by several rules, some of which may predict conflicting classes, okay. So if a record has been triggered by two or more rules, then it will result in conflicting classes, right? So there are two ways to overcome this problem. First solution is ordered rules and the second solution is unordered rules. First, let us go through ordered rules. In this approach, the rules in a rule set are ordered in the decreasing order of their priority, which can be defined in many ways based on the accuracy or coverage or total description length or the order in which the rules are generated. So here the rules in the rule set, you have to arrange them in the decreasing order of their priority. So that priority can be anything. It can be accuracy, coverage. So based on the accuracy, okay, first suppose if we take accuracy, if we consider the priority is using the accuracy, correct, and we have already seen how to calculate accuracy. So you have to arrange the records in the decreasing order of their accuracy, okay. So the rules, you have to arrange the rules in the decreasing order of their accuracy, okay. So first compute the accuracy for all the rules. Next you arrange the rules in the decreasing order of their accuracy. An ordered rule set is also known as decision list. When a test record is presented, it is classified by the highest ranked rule that covers the record. So here you have arranged the rules according to the decreasing order of their accuracy. So the first rule that is triggered, correct? So you classify the record, okay? You classify the record based on the class of that rule, okay? So when a test record is presented, it is classified by the highest ranked rule that covers the record. So the highest ranked rule will be triggered. This avoids the problem of having conflicting classes predicted by multiple classification problem. Okay, here since we have arranged the rule according to some priority, okay, when a record appears, that record will be triggered by the highest priority rule. Okay, so in that way we can avoid the conflicting classes. Next solution, unordered rules. This approach allows a test record to trigger multiple classification rules and consider the consequent of each rule as a vote for a particular class. The votes are then tallied to determine the class label of the test record. The record is usually assigned to the class that receives the highest number of votes. Okay, so suppose the test record triggers multiple classes. Okay, suppose the first record triggers class 0. Okay, let me consider it class label as 0, 1, okay, and 1. Okay, so if you see that one record has been triggered by 3 rules. Okay, one record has been triggered by all the 3 rules. Okay, now next what you do is consider the consequent of each rule as a vote for the class. Okay, then the votes, you have to vote the class label of the record. The votes are then tallied to determine based on the votes you will determine the class label of the test record. Okay, here when a record is being triggered by more than one rule, okay, you will consider the consequent of that rule. Okay, which consequent has the highest vote, okay, to that consequent you will assign the class label. Okay, now suppose in some cases the vote may be weighted by the rule accuracy. In some cases along with the vote you might weight it with the accuracy also. If I have to give examples here, let us see this. See here we have 3 rules, correct? Okay, now suppose if a record is been triggered by rule R1, okay, rule R2 and R3. Okay, one record has been triggered by all the 3 rules. Okay, now which is the majority class here? Majority class is non-mammals, correct? Majority class over here is non-mammals, correct? So hence you will classify their record as non-mammals. This is how voting of the class label works. So that was about unordered rules, right? Next, let us see the summary of rule-based classifier. A rule-based classifier classifies records by using a collection of if-then rules. Okay, for example, a rule is condition implies Y, where condition is a conjunction of attributes and Y is the class label. The left hand side rule antecedent or condition and the right hand side is the rule consequent. Examples of classification rules. Okay, if the blood type is equal to warm and lay eggs is equal to yes, then it implies class births. Second rule, if the taxable income is less than 50k and a refund is equal to yes, then it implies evade is equal to no, that is defaulted borrower is equal to no. Okay, so you will assign the class label no here. Next, from decision trees to rules. Okay, so how you will obtain the rule set for a given decision tree. Okay, now for each of these class labels in the decision tree, you need to generate the rules. So here if you see, refund is equal to yes means class is no. Okay, so you will have a rule over here. Refund is equal to yes means class is equal to no. Next, refund is equal to no. Marital status is married. Okay, class is equal to no. So refund is equal to no. You have this rule here. Refund is equal to no. Marital status is equal to married. Class is no. Next you see, refund is equal to no, marital status single or divorced, okay, and taxable income less than 80k. So class will be no. So refund is equal to no, okay, marital status single or divorced, correct? Marital status is single or divorced, taxable income less than 80k, okay, class is no, okay. Finally, refund is equal to no, marital status single or divorced, taxable income greater than 80k, class is equal to yes. So refund is equal to no, marital status single or divorced, okay, taxable income greater than 80k, okay, class is equal to yes. Okay, so this is the set of classification rule that is obtained for this decision tree. Okay. Next, the rules that you have obtained, you can simplify it. Okay. For example, if you see this rule, refund is equal to no, marital status is equal to married. Consider this initial rule. Class is equal to no. Here, marital status, if you check, marital status is married. So, if the marital status is married, okay, irrespective of the refund, whether the refund is no or whether it is yes, if the marital status is married, then directly the class label is no. Right? So, this rule, refund is equal to no and status is equal to married, you can simplify it as just status is equal to married implies no. Okay, because if the status is married, irrespective of refund, whether the refund is no or whether it is yes, irrespective of the refund, always status is equal to married, then class is equal to no. Okay, this is how we can simplify the rule. Now, effect of rule simplification. If you simplify the rules, then the rules are no longer mutually exclusive. A record may trigger more than one rule. Okay. The solution to this is ordered rule set. Okay. Arranging the rules according to the decreasing order of the priority. One more solution is unordered rule set, that is using the voting scheme. Okay. One more effect of rule simplification is rules are no longer exhaustive. Okay. So a record may not trigger any rules. So if they are not exhaustive means a record may not trigger any rules. So this is all about today's video lecture. The remaining part of rule based classifier and the remaining two types of classifier, I will do it in the next week video lecture. So that was all about today. Thank you.